So before I get into all of this, did you guys see the latest Ellen with Dean, D'Lo, and Christina? Like, she was asking them all these questions, and Dean was feeling very uncomfortable. Christina was still kind of like taking shots at D'Lo, and then she was saying that she still wants to like have something with Dean. And then Ellen asked Dean, and Dean is just like, well, no, I like her as a friend. I kind of just still need to be by myself. She's a great girl, though. And I think that Dean keeps on saying that because he wants to, like, save face. But at the end of the day, to be quite honest with you, Dean is loving the attention. He just wants to have a really good time and just bang all of his fans. I probably would have been in line to be one of those fans felt up by Mr. Deanie Babies, but I'm disgusted at this point on out. Let's get into this review. D'Lo still wants to be with Dean because on her Instagram, she was very confusing. She put up this picture of her sitting on Dean, kissing him, and saying how he basically played her and Christina and that we need to, like, the viewers need to get on with their lives. But then people are commenting like, girl, why did you post this picture of you kissing him if you know that he played you? Dean, listen, I play into the hype of Dean being fine because I'm doing like a comedic review of a TV show. So it plays into the comedy. It plays into just the fun of this show. But can we talk, like, let's be real. Dean is alright. You know what I mean? Out of all the dudes out there, like, he fine, he cute, but he ain't no Paul Walker. Let's stop acting like this is the finest white dude that's ever walked the face of this earth. Caucasian society has produced better. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. After 6 hours in paradise, Lacey reveals that she's in love with Daniel. Lord help her. Help your child. So this conversation with Jack and Kristen, I think that's her name. Yeah, Jack and Kristen was very like just awkward and weird and off-putting for me. And can I tell you, I watched this show with my mom and I'll be sharing her commentary. I wish I was watching it live so that she could just be commenting because everything that we've talked about with these characters, my mom, who has never watched the show, watched it with me for the first time in her life. And she made the same kind of comments that we all make about these characters. First of all, she was like, stop up with him, talk about Jack. She was like, he is very weird. Especially in that conversation when he was having with Kristen, when he's trying to leave with her from Paradise as a couple, and she's like, well, I don't want to leave as a couple. He's like, oh no, we'll leave as friends and then we'll grow into being a couple. And she's like, well, I don't want that either. We're just friends. I don't want it to be anything. I don't want to hold hands. I'm not into you. Like I said before, Kristen basically played Jack so she can get a roast to stay in Paradise, you know, probably for some TV time and scallops. Like, Kristen was just here for the scallops and Ben was just here to find somebody to play second fiddle to that damn dog. Adam and Raven. I believe that what they have is real, right? They're just so boring. And they're such a young couple and there's just no spice. I don't know how they excite each other because I was just watching them and I was almost falling asleep because their conversation talking about the fantasy suite was so like blah. Because Adam is just like, so do you want to leave here together and go to the fantasy suite? And Raven is just like, yeah. And I'm just like, okay, we didn't even need to film this because there was nothing there that like would draw a viewer in. I'm glad that they're like happy and in love or whatever, but y'all love story is just boring. Maybe it's just not fit for TV. I'm sorry. Maybe you guys are just too normal to be on this show. Dean, I can't even really talk about him on this show anymore. I mean, because I've made so many excuses for him because Dean was my baby. I felt really bad for him for how Rachel did him. I felt bad for him because he exposed his whole family situation on national TV. And then he gets on this show and he just becomes like, I guess this is a part of who he really is. And I guess with the cameras just rolling 24/7, we just pick up everything. And I'm just like, oh, we don't really know this dude. And that makes total sense. But it was just so disgusting to see that he was like playing these girls and like kind of trying to manipulate the audience, you know, with those confessionals where he's crying and things of that nature. And it's just like, Dean, you're trifling. Wait, so Diggy turned down Dom because he wanted to take Jamie to the fantasy suite to see where this relationship was going. And Jamie was like, dude, I just met you a day ago. I don't know you. No, we're not doing a fantasy suite together. What did you think was going to happen, Diggy? And how dare you turn down Dom? She was doing you a favor. So Robbie asks Amanda to go to the fantasy suite. And she like whispers this soliloquy to him about why she doesn't want to go because she just doesn't really feel anything. And I remember, I told you guys, I said she is accepting his affection for two reasons. One, she feels pressured, and two, because she just needs somebody to keep her on this show. Like, I didn't see any, there was no chemistry for me. I didn't see anything between the two of them. So I'm not surprised that she didn't go to the fantasy suite with Robbie. And then he's always playing like super disappointed. And it's just like, dude, she's not giving you anything. You're imagining all these things and trying to make something out of nothing. Amanda hasn't given Robbie any signals. So for him to say that she's giving mixed signals or she's giving some type of signal, I'm like, dude, the only signal she's giving you is rest in peace. Just like her daughter, my mother also thinks that Robbie needs to be on Fire Island season 3. To be quite honest with you, out of all the people to find love, I would have never called Lacey, but for some reason, her and Count Dracula are working, and they both decided to go to the fantasy suite together. And I'm just weirded out and confused and kind of grossed out. So Taylor decides to go to the fantasy suite with Budget John Krasinski, and I am so disappointed. Like, I'm glad that she eventually found love. Like, I'm not gonna hate on that, but I'm like, Taylor, you do know that you're dating down, because Derek, or whatever his name, Budget John Krasinski, he ain't even saying nothing, because that brother know that he is dating up. He is not trying to rock the boat with this chick. I'm like, Taylor, I went to her Instagram. She has a history of dating basic white men. Sis, know your worth. Know your worth. At least get a Liam Hemsworth. Taylor and Derek, what I realized about this show is that this show, in my opinion, from just watching it this one time, I didn't feel like the women got a lot of, you know, quality men to really choose from. And not saying anything negative about these dudes, I'm just saying the level to which the women who were on the show did not, in my opinion, equate to the men that they had to choose from. I just felt like they had some bad broads on this show, and then the dudes were, no shade, you know what I mean? And I just felt like they could have gave them a better batch. And I feel like for these girls, Rachel's season would have been perfect for them. And I honestly feel like that's why they said yes, because they thought that Rachel's season was going to be on this show, and they show up and it's like the cast from 2009, and they're just like, what the hell? Because no shade, Diggy wasn't the best dude from that season. The fact that Eric wasn't in, I didn't even get to see Alex. We didn't even get hot Asian Blake. Like, these girls, man, if Rachel's season was on this show, I'm telling you, there would have been so many love connections. There would have been a whole different outlook. I just didn't feel like the women and the men match. And I also felt like this is how it is in church, right? Let's be real for a second. Follow me on this and let's have a real conversation. Because in church, if you are a young Christian woman, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The men, the level of the men in no way has ever match the level to the bad broads that be up and down them aisles on a Sunday service. Can we tell the truth and shame the devil? Because in every church you have all of these women who are flocking to the church because, you know, men are trash, and we are trying to find a good guy, and you get to the church and you feel like they're raising these good men there, and then you get there, no tea, no shade, but it's the most basic of basic God-loving dudes, and you're just like, oh my God. The one good-looking dude ends up being trash because he has so many women to pick from. He's dating this and dating that and dating that and dating. And if we can't choose the fine-looking dude, we got to deal with the dude that looked like Pennywise the Clown from It. You know what I mean? So that's the selection that we have. There's no in between, and I feel like this is what The Bachelor is. At least The Bachelor in Paradise, like these top-notch broads, and they dealing with these like, you know what I mean? No tea, no shade, but you take these Bloomingdale's chicks and then you match them up with some Target dudes. Ain't nothing wrong with Target, but they not on Bloomingdale's level. I swear The Bachelor in Paradise is a singles ministry, and The Bachelor is a Sunday service on Easter. Am I telling the truth, or am I telling the truth? Back in the studio, and Dean is getting booed. Well deserved. We start off with Demario and Corinne, and it's very, very awkward because they haven't seen each other since that whole incident, and they're just sitting there. The audience is really quiet. It's like this weird kind of tension between them. Demario is making sure he doesn't sit close to her. Corinne is making sure she doesn't look at him. It was just really, really, really weird. But I will say this, like I told you before, I knew that ABC was going to make Demario come out, you know, smelling like roses here. And I told you, it's because he did not lawyer up like Corinne did. He came off looking really, really good. I honestly, I don't know if it's real because a lot of people are saying that he's not humble, but I like this new, mature, refined Demario because this jerk-like kind of persona he was walking into, trying to get on reality TV shows with that, it worked up until that moment. I feel like where he's going now, and with the support of a really huge studio behind him, I see him having a really great future in reality TV. Probably in hosting, I can see him doing well on E. I can see ABC using him for different things. So I really think that this is going to work out well for him. Corinne, not so much. Guys, did you see the way the rest of the cast was reacting towards Corinne? Every time that Chris talked to Corinne, the cast was like rolling their eyes, like making little side-eye comments, you know, and things like, it was just very, very weird how they were showing like audience reactions, and especially the reactions of the cast members, especially like Raven. Every time she said something, they were like getting Raven, they were getting Jasmine. I think they were also getting Alexis. It was just really, really weird how they seemed to have an obvious beef with Corinne, and when Chris was talking to Demario, everybody was so supportive. So I don't know, Corinne, I don't know how you could change this. The only thing that I feel like you could do to save whatever kind of career you want to have in reality TV is to go on like one of them VH1 like therapy, I need to change my persona, reality TV shows, and you know, sit down and speak to a therapist, cry about your upbringing or something like that, and you know, bring the audience in and make them have some remorse for you and come out as a changed woman, get a people cover. I went through therapy, I am renewed. People love a redemption story. So maybe that needs to happen for you, but I don't see you doing well outside of this because honey, when you take the bad girl route in this like reality TV thing, it never works out well for you. Every time they call Jack a serial killer. Then we get to D'Lo, Christina, and Dean, and Christina still has beef with D'Lo. Like, she overlooks Dean and goes right to D'Lo, and at this point I'm just like, girl, you need some help, because honestly you have to fix in you what is broken that allows you to continue to be abused, mistreated, and just made a fool of by men like Dean, because there's something in you that attracts them because they see some kind of brokenness or something that they know that they can take advantage of. And homegirl, you got to fix that, because you'll continue to get Deans and you'll continue to get played and you'll continue to be on this emotional roller coaster until you don't address what is going on in you that allows you to accept such terrible behavior from basic men. And concerning Dean, I really feel like he likes Christina. I feel like he likes Christina. But I feel like it's a force like. I feel like he likes Christina because that's what everybody wants for him, you know what I mean? Like his family would probably want him to bring home a girl like Christina because how society views her and D'Lo are polar opposites, you know what I mean? Like Christina is the good girl, so that's the kind of girl that Dean should go after. And the way D'Lo is filmed, it makes her seem like she's just very promiscuous and, you know, sexy kind of woman, and that's the type of woman that, you know, we are told that men should not bring home. So I feel like he's attracted to D'Lo, but he wants to do the right thing and be with somebody like Christina. I feel like Dean wants Christina in the kitchen and D'Lo in the bedroom. Jerks normally view women like that. Also got so caught up in the way that Dean and Christina was talking about each other. Like I'm sitting there on the couch like, oh my goodness, this is so sweet. And then I remember they've known each other for not even 18 days. Chill out. And girl, wait a minute, just when it was getting a little dull, D'Lo brought it back up because Dean was saying all this stuff about Christina, never really acknowledged D'Lo, and she's a good girl, I love her, I can't believe I treated her like that, and saying all of these things, and D'Lo was just like, well, when you left paradise with me. Like, she basically said, you came to my place and you hit, and we was doing a little something for a while, and then all of a sudden you get on this show and you start talking about how you love Christina when you were in my bed like last night. Like, she exposed him, and I was like, yes, sis, expose him, read him for filth, let the world know he ain't worth a damn, that light-skinned Lawrence. So Amanda, the Whisper Barbie, she really needs to stop letting men guilt trip her into relationships, because she's talking about Robbie and she's basically saying how he was just doing all these things and he was very nice to her, so she eventually reciprocated what he was giving to her. And I'm like, honey, that's not how it works. If you're not attracted to the dude, I don't care if he brings you tea and avocado toast every morning. You're not attracted to him, you're not into him, you don't owe him anything. I need to teach a seminar that's basically saying your coochie is your coochie. Don't let a man guilt trip you into a terrible life with terrible kids and terrible edges, because it can happen. You know what I mean? You get with a dude, the next thing you know, your edges is gone, your eyebrows is all over the place. Oh my God, am I talking about myself? Jesus, fix it. Who is this glam squad at the Bachelor, the Bachelorette, and the Bachelor in Paradise? Because let me tell you something. When Robbie walked on that set, I was just like, who are these people? Because they are doing the Lord's work. They upgraded everybody on that cast, especially the dudes who were struggling in, the hair department. Matt and Robbie, girl, they look like something I would DM. I called it, and although a lot of you were just like, why would you say these things about Robbie? Because he's trash, and I knew he was trash. Twins from White Chicks exposed Robbie, and they said that he was cheating on Amanda, who was doing him a favor by even going out with his Fire Island tease looking self. Like, I can't believe he did that to her. You know what? I believe at this point that they were using each other to stay on the show, because I told you guys in the beginning, I didn't see any fireworks between her and Robbie, and I felt like she was just accepting his affection so that she can get a rose when it was time for the men to pick. And I felt like Robbie was doing the same thing, that he was using Amanda to stay on the show, and he was also using her rejection of him for like more camera time. They all seem so suspect to me, and don't you guys worry, I will be doing a review on how some of these Bachelor and Bachelorette contestants be scamming the viewers. It's coming, guys. I'm just doing a little bit more research so that I can give you guys some accurate tea. Stay tuned. Lacey, sis, you have to stop slouching, because Lacey walks onto the stage and she's slouching. Then she sits down and she's slouching. And I'm like, sis, you have to stop doing that, because you're going to end up being that lady with the hunchback in the supermarket scaring kids in the produce section. Can you get me the avocado? Like, you got to straighten it up, sis. Straighten up. I have to work on it too. You know what I mean? I'm very concerned about having a hunchback, but I got heavy titties. I don't know why Lacey is slouching. Oh, so Daniel is trash, and Lacey found that out in the fantasy suite. Sis, I called it from the minute he walked into paradise. Y'all have to stop being blinded by wanting to be in a relationship, wanting to have kids at this time, wanting to be married. Listen, we are not baby boomers. The world is changing. You do not have to be married and have kids. You can live a fabulous life, single, sexy, and free. Get a dude when you want it. Get a baby when you want it. If you are too old to carry it, pay some healthy young chick to do it. Times is a change, and we do not have to abide by those ancient rules that society put on women back in the day. We can do whatever we want, ladies. This is our season. Take back your life and live the life that you always wanted to live, because it's possible. I would never change my Facebook status to being in a relationship with Lacey. Trash. A lot of the men on this show are pure trash. You know what? The Bachelor in Paradise needs to change their name to Basura, because that is what these poor women had to deal with this entire season. I'm telling y'all, these Bloomingdale chicks, they showed up and they got some dudes from Dillard's. Yes, I felt the same way about Peter. I'm so sick of the men coming on this show trying to be realistic after they done felt these women up, and then grinded all on their genitalia, and now they want to be realistic about relationships. You signed up for the Bachelor in Paradise, Daniel. There is no realistic situation in this cacophony of reality TV, genital juices and marriages and engagements. This ain't normal. So if you want normalcy, don't sign up for this show. You're too busy trying to be some basic comedian, so you're using this shtick to get on this show, but you're abusing a girl who was very fragile, who was into you. Child, I done got myself so worked out. I am sweating out my edge control. Anyway, we get to Raven and Adam, and they're such a snooze fest, but I believe them. And it honestly feels like that Raven is not as into Adam. I hope I didn't call him Matt, because they're interchangeable to me for some reason. But it seems like Raven is not as into Adam as Adam is into Raven, and I don't have a problem with that. My grandmother always told me, you get with a man that loves you more than you love him. And I don't got a problem with that. Worship me, boy, as it should be. Ebony got us right here. Single, sexy, and free. Work. What is going on? Eric and Taylor get engaged. Congrats, guys. Congrats. But if it don't work out, Taylor, I'm going to need you to get a freakum dress, and I'm going to need you to go down to the All-Star game and upgrade your life. Stop messing with these Caucasian zeros and get yourself a Negro hero that will buy you a lash line or a hairline or a clothing line. They love doing that for their women. Wealthy Negroes love a mixed combination. You better listen to me and get your life. No shade. Just and is it me, or did Derek pick up a bit of weight? I'm not one to talk, okay? But I don't remember Derek being this healthy in the rear end area. He got up to like hug Taylor after he proposed, and I was like, wait a minute, Derek got a donkey. So that's it. And I just want to say thank you guys for sticking with me through all of like my Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise reviews and topics and updates. It's been so fun just growing with you guys and just chit-chatting and getting all the tea. And again, I love talking to you guys on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram and all my handles. I'll post them somewhere here, whatever. I'll post them right here so you can see them and follow me, and I'll also post them in the description box below. But I just really want to say thank you. It's been so much fun, and you know, I've never really watched this show, so I love just getting all the information from you guys so that I can have a better review of it. One thing that I am going to do is I am going to, as soon as I can find Ari's season, I am going to watch that season and I am going to review it. So I'll put it up here as soon as I can find that season, and I am going to watch the new Bachelor. So join me as I either drag it or love it, and we can chit and chat about that as well. And also, I'm in the process of auditioning and moving. Like, the fall has been really hectic for me right now because I'm moving and I'm auditioning and I'm just working on a few other projects, so I can't post as often and as quickly as I would like to. But as soon as I get settled, my channel will be a little bit more pristine and I'll be adding some more topics. But right now, with me transitioning, I just can't do it right now. Also, I've started this wellness journey, and so that's why my energy is a little wonky in some videos, because some days I'm juicing, some days I'm just doing solids. So my diet is changing a bit, so I'm in that beginning stage where I'm like tired all the time. But I'll be updating you guys about that as well. So it'll be a lot of stuff. It'll be hair, it'll be makeup, it'll be food, it'll be health and fitness. I'm going to do a whole lot of things for you guys. I have so much in store for you all. I just do not have the time right now while I'm moving to do it. Hopefully it'll be up and ready in November, because you know, I love to give you guys quality. I really sit down with my subject matter and I research it and make sure I can give you guys the best, because I appreciate you tuning in to me. I really, 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 really do. So thank you for joining me. Please stick around for my other videos. Check those out. And just thanks for sticking with me. I truly, truly appreciate the relationships that I have made here, and just you guys. I really, really do. So I'll see you for some other reviews, and I'll especially see you for The Bachelor. Love you guys. Bye.